the street, there'll be a clock painted on the rocks over here, and they have it on the docks along the mountain here, where they advertised a whole bunch of he actually made like pocket watches and different things like this. And then so if you guys look to the left here, this cabin over here, the one that's blue, you think that would be Captain Moore's house, but that one's actually built later by his son for him and his wife and children. But the little one that's even smaller than this bus is the one where him and his two sons lived for quite a few years. Now that it wasn't originally there, it was more farther about a block that way. But when the 10,000 people flooded this town, they kind of skipped claim on Captain Moore's land. He owned most of this land, and they all came in and pushed. They actually picked up his log cabin and put it right there and took his land from him. And he sued them later, but he never made the money back that he would have if he would have had kept that land and sold it and things. I know it feels like we're going in circles because I kind of did one road that I did backwards, but you're getting to see a lot of the town and everything, so it's pretty cool. If you're thinking about somewhere to come eat later, this Skagway Brew Co. has the best burgers in the world. It definitely will give you some cholesterol later. Head back down this, and then you're going to see a little bit what's left of the town, and then we're going to head on out. Have a little Christmas store over here to the right. Sells a lot of like Christmas decorations, ice cream shop. This building that's on the corner over here, that's the red and white building, that's the Days of 98 show. It's the longest running musical in the world. Oh, it actually, if you guys look out to the front, you can see one of our Red Onion ladies giving a tour right now. Having fun. But this used to be actually a hotel, and it was a Broadway show. They put on a show it's the story of our notorious con artist that lived here in Skagway. His name was Soapy Smith, and I will be telling that whole story for you guys, and you'll get to see where his grave is, because his life did end in a duel at the docks with another gentleman, and they're buried in the Gold Rush Cemetery, and we're going to see that later today. Now over here to the right is one of the only running bank in town. Actually, the first credit union opened up last week on Bruce Street, so now we have two. But now it's the only that wasn't an original Wells Fargo, but it is a Wells Fargo now. Okay, folks, are you ready for it? This is the end of town. Told you it was so big. Down there was a women's college. It looks like a religious women's college. It's turned into a museum now. It is made out of the granite, right out of from the mountains, natural resources like that. And pretty cool little building. If you have time later to come in, you can go in there and look around, and it has a lot of the historic tools and things that were left behind, and all the history on the walls in there, and it really shows you a lot more about the story. Now you guys are going to see a really cool attraction here. If you look to the left, you're going to see this gray and red building, right? And you think, well, what's all those people hanging out there for? Well, those are the people that really don't want to be on vacation. That's where you get the free Wi-Fi. The free Wi-Fi. Okay, folks, now you're going to see a red church here, and then right as we pass it, you're going to see a green church and a brown church. Does anyone think they know why they would paint them different colors? I mean, you saw the town was very colorful, but it wasn't probably as colorful as that back in the day. It kind of kept with that theme. The main... Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that was a little loud. Okay. Anyway, so the reason for that is that most of the people that came here were illiterate and they did not know how to read or spell. And so they came up with this idea, let's just paint each church different so they all can make it to church on time and to the right church. So every church in this town is a little bit different one. We have the LDS church over here, and then back there was the Catholic church, that was the Green Church, Assembly of God. We have about 5 different denominations in town. We have this rec center over here to our left. They built, the cruise lines actually donated the money to build that for the people of Skagway, because we actually have only 18 hours or about 20 hours of total darkness during the winter. Could you guys imagine? And then it changes during the summer. Now it's getting exciting because it's going to be about 20 hours of sunlight. So that's pretty cool. And they actually have what's called blue lights in that rec center, so the people in this town can go get their vitamin D during the winter. Now you probably saw the H sign for hospital is lying. We actually don't have a hospital. That is a clinic, folks. It has 2 nurse practitioners, which is about the same as doctors, but they can only triage and diagnose symptoms, and then if you have to get any major care, that's why I said no boo-boos today, right? Because we do not want to have to get life flighted out of here. That will be a $10,000 fee. So let's be careful, you guys. Let's be careful today. Now, if you look to your left, you will see our only gated community, which has no one in it, our RV park. But that usually gets pretty full during the summer, so it's pretty neat. Now, if you guys look to the right, we're going to have the fire station. Okay, we spent about $17 million building that building, but we have the fire station, the police station, the DMV, the courthouse, and the waterworks all in one building. Isn't that neat? So I guess we did utilize it, but in retrospect of how inflation has worked over the years, and we spent $17,000, 17, not thousand, that would have been nice, $17 million on building that building. I have a trivia question. I have a couple little trinkets that I'm going to give out as prizes if somebody can give me the right answer. And this is a 3-part question. So the first one is what year did we buy Alaska? Second part is who did we buy it from? And for how much? Okay. Okay, so Russia was right. 1959. 18 what? I didn't hear you. It was 1867 is when we bought Alaska from Russia. You said 7.2? You're right, 7.2. So can you imagine? We spent 17 on that building over there. But that was a lot back. That was only like maybe like 30 cents an acre. So not much. Hey, you guys look over here at these sheds. These sheds are pretty awesome. They're part of the White Pass Trail railroad train, and they actually do not ship out for anything for the train that's still here, that's 126 years old today. They build everything here to replace and to keep it up to what the specs of how they built it back then, to keep the historic level of the train. So it's pretty neat. So now we are leaving town, folks. This is so cool. Now, if you look at this side and you see some water, and you look at this side and you see some water, that's how bridge works. Now,